Mike the Ref Maloney, Big Bad Boris on the call here tonight.
Let's go! Third! Let the Super Kick Party!
Yeah, pay the money for that.
No one.
And of course, you're gonna get the coffin skin. Of course, hand it to Twitch to just program this perfectly that we start this stream in the middle of an ad break. Jesus. Yo, 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 and away we go. Happy Saturday night. Happy WrestleMania Saturday. It is April 6th, 2024. Wow, I'm on my game here tonight. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody's enjoying things. And just remember, I like indie wrestling. So, or sorry, let me get up for this one. There you go. This guy likes indie. Had to wear this shirt for WrestleMania because, you know, WrestleMania, WWE, the biggest indie in the world, you know. So what'd you guys think overall of what happened tonight? I see everybody's popped in the chat already. So they officially split the tag titles. Yes, it was pretty much the way... From top to bottom, like, I didn't put out anything for a predictions thing for anything, but I didn't think I needed to because this card was very, very simple, if you ask me, and very straightforward about everything that's going on here. We had, in the opening match, you got Rhea winning over Becky. Becky, not only is she looking for time off, but... her contract's also up in 3 months. So if that contract ain't signed, why would you give the title to her and hope that she's going to make it to Toronto for Money in the Bank? Because there's a possibility she might even get there in terms of having a contract still. Then you got to pull a whole bunch of shenanigans to change that out. I wasn't really paying attention to the sign of the night there, Hoagie Man. Do you guys have any ideas what you want to do for sign of the night here? Bloodline rules equals Cody has to win. I think there's going to be so many shenanigans tomorrow. And yes, I do think Cody is still going to win. I think that's why Sammy and Gunther was on night one. Because you have two very, very long winning streaks that need to be broken. And you're breaking them on the same weekend. You don't do them in the same night. Because I don't know, personally, if you ask me, the match of the night, to me, has to be the Sammy match with Gunther. And the set of storytelling that they did in that match. I think there were quite a few good matches on this card. I will tell you right now, the main event was not one of them. All right, they don't even deserve a full boo on that. You don't... That match got to the point where the crowd just gave up at that point. It almost turned into what happened with Roman and Triple H for... Whoa.
But I'm better than you. And you know it.
McGee flying in with the sub. 25 freaking months. That's two years and a bit. Thank you for the resub, sir. I do appreciate it. We're just talking about my thoughts overall on Mania here. Oh, and thumbs up for People Skills. Tool Shed is one of my favorite microbrews. Hey, you know what? It's just because everybody says I need People Skills. It worked out so perfectly. And let's face it, any kind of beer that I have, as long as it's not Guinness, I dump enough Clamato in it that it really doesn't make a difference what you have. So just throwing it there. But tonight, we've had a lot of wrestling, so we're going to have a little bit of that. So that's the item on order tonight for us as we check out a little AEW as we go along here. In terms of the rest of the card, like, the tag title match was absolutely insanity, which is expected. You were going to get one face and one heel team to win the titles if you were going to split them up, which obviously they wanted to do. The second that they put them up in two separate spots, you knew they wanted to split up those titles. And the fact that you got A-Town Down Under getting those titles and they're going to be those crap heels that everybody can chase after right now, I got a feeling that's going to be very good for the division. Like, you're going to have a lot of... you're going to have Dunn and Bate, I think, do a lot of that. I hate him too. And I hate him in a good way. But the other thing about it, McGee, and the one thing that really upsets me about A-Town Down Under more than anything, Austin Theory took a win over John Cena and turned it into nothing. He literally turned it into nothing. Because, let's face it, that literally is what resulted out of that. Which, here nor there, I hope that this tag team, in the way that, even after they won the tag belts, after Waller and Theory grabbed the titles, Theory ended up beaten up, and Waller's sitting up top of the ladder just staring at it and laughing. So we'll see how that goes. I'd almost be interested to see if the Wolf Dogs ended up breaking that up. After losing, they'll eventually lose the titles down in NXT, come up. I think they come up as a pair and they absolutely wreck A-Town Down Under and take those titles. That's just a personal prediction out of me here. Because it seems like Braun and Baron is something that they didn't expect to have for a very long time here. So, but yeah, that one. And then getting R-Truth his WrestleMania moment for all the work he's done. And the amount that he's been over the last 2 years, giving him this moment, the way that it happened, and by eliminating Damian Priest at the end of all that, to me, that just absolutely speaks to a very good feel-good moment. I think that's the best way to say it. Just an absolute tremendous feel-good moment there. The John Cena curse lives on, both on Austin Theory and Solo beat him and haven't really won since. It's almost... that's the problem with you got Vince booking, right? Because Vince was booking that card, right? Last year's Mania and even as late as SummerSlam here. When you have Vince in there not really thinking long-term on his booking, that hot tag was an absolute great moment of ladder match. Abso-freaking-lutely. That, you knew Truth was going to come up with something stupid, and he did. And it worked out just, chef's kiss there. It was a great moment, but it should have had his... You know what? You can reminisce about things that happened a long time ago, and I know we hated hearing about this when they talked about it on... I see Collision's already up here, so... Or the Collision feed's up. Oh, it's just up, so... we got about 5 minutes until the show begins here, which we're going to have a lot of fun with this one, because there is a lot of good things coming up on this card, by the way. Yeah, Truth should have had his moment a long time ago, but you take it when you're hot, right? And that's what that ended up being there. The 6-woman tag, the entrance was great. Both teams here got a great entrance there. Jade coming out with her Storm outfit, Cyclops for Bianca. And we were looking at possibly a Kung Lao for Naomi. Couldn't really figure out what exactly we were trying to do there, but she did have a pretty good one there. This is the 5th different design of the tag title that Miz has held. I'll give him the air horn for that. Miz has held, what, is it like 8 tag team, 8 Intercontinental Championships, and then now 5 different designs of the tag team title? Like, Miz is the ultimate guy for the whole clan there in WWE. So good on him and everything he's done. Yeah, on paper, Miz has had the most impressive resume of all time. Like, he did win a WrestleMania, but for many people, it's considered the worst WrestleMania ever. But he was 53-time, 24/7, 7-Eleven TV European champion, and whatever else he said. Oh, yeah, true. A double Grand Slam champion, yes, after he defeated Randy Orton for that brief time to get the title from Orton to WrestleMania 1 was the worst of all time. We'd have to debate that. It's 2 different eras here. one of these times we might actually have to get together and, I wouldn't mind doing a little bit of wrestling talk as we go along as well. We got another project to deal with first here on How the Ref Would Book Challenge, as I think we're just merely a couple thousand away from that, so we're just under 4,000 left, so we'll make that 2,000. 1,400, sorry. That's how much is going to be left to it. So WrestleMania 9 was considered pretty bad too. Exactly. Like, we got 1, we got 9, we got 27, we got, in many ways, 15. Crowder, you were right on with that. The Raging Climax, as they call it. I still get a pop out of the fact they actually mentioned the WrestleMania Rager. That supposedly some of these accusations actually went over, so these accusations that Vince involved in right now, and some of the stuff that got, like, I have that WrestleMania both on DVD and VHS, and it doesn't age well at all. The fact they literally hung somebody. Wasn't Taker Triple H match at 27? Taker Triple H won. Well, I guess in this case it'd be 2 because they did 17 and then they did 27, and then the Hell in the Cell was 28. I didn't particularly like that second match there. They didn't go full out, and they were just trying to get close to. Sorry, they just got. They're just setting up the UConn Purdue game coming up on Monday here, as the feed just went live on the TSN Plus here. So, and the Hell in a Cell did have the best false finish in wrestling history, though. Yeah, that was at 28, though. That's the thing. It was at 28, not 27. Because 27 was the singles match that they had prior to that. Because 26 was the retirement, because it was the 25th anniversary, which was 26. Yeah, that's the No Holds Barred match. That was the year after Shawn retired. Triple H took it there, where they started that's the first year they started using the Johnny Cash, I do believe. But yeah, that's we could talk about bad manias. We don't want to talk about that tonight because we actually had a good one here. The 6-woman tag was great. The brothers match, I know a lot of people were saying that they expected a lot more pace to the match with the two brothers going at it. I feel that with anything dealing with the bloodline or any around it, you're going to get that deliberate pace. You're going to get more story around it. So I really didn't mind it that much, but I still found that it was okay. It wasn't blow your socks off. I did like the false "I'm sorry" out of Jimmy there. I thought someone did the quarter trick to Jade, just like it was done to Ross Geller. Jade showed a lot of her weaknesses early in the match there, but she also did at the end showed a lot more confidence as it was going on, so it just felt good there. Yeah, the brothers in the first match that I honestly felt was a real cool down was that Legado del Fantasma LWO there. Just didn't seem to want to get out of third or fourth gear, and I really think it would have been more appropriate to have the heels win in that case. I think that would have been a case for really to get Dom over if you want to get him that pin there. But then you have the heartfelt moment with Jason Kelsey out there, who, if you haven't heard, both Lane Johnson and Jason Kelsey did some training at a gym called the Monster Factory that is nearby Philadelphia. They've been doing some preliminary training. And Jason did a hell of a spot there on Dom and how he beat him up there the way he did. I love how we're running late on Collision again. Jesus. Let's go, boys. Anyway. Big G, that would be your arrogance. Very, very much so. I could see that as well. Did Carlito beat up Dragon Lee? I'm guessing that's what's going to be, unless they want to bring up a different storyline here after me. All bets are off now. It's the week after Mania. Stories start up. We see that after every time we do a pay-per-view on our GM mode. We have to switch gears on who's facing who. So it makes a lot of sense that way. It's super frustrating, but Santos just isn't over, and it makes me so mad because he's just so good. Yeah. Like, Santos has always been left behind the 8-ball for some reason, and he hasn't resonated. And I think it's because he's had, in many ways, you deal with a crowd that isn't exactly learned. And I hate to compare the two fan bases, but I'm going to anyway. The AEW fan base is a little more learned about Mexican wrestling, different personalities and everything. And the WWE audience is very general. They try to get as many fans as they can, and it shows as they put everything together there. So, to me, it feels like Santos needs something in his character and personality to stand out, and I don't know what it is. It's going to be very tough with that crowd right now. Bray Wyatt's your Universal Champion in GM mode. Right now, Cody's got it for me. He's defending it tomorrow it'll be 2 p.m. Eastern, noon Mountain Time. We are going to be having our PLE SummerSlam for my GM mode here on the Twitch channel. Barring anything else stupid happening, Heyman's already blocked 3 of my champions. Well, actually, one of my ex-champions, but that's a different story. But we're going to have Cody Rhodes defend the title against Argus the Great in our main event. Actually, he might be the opener, because we got Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley in our main event here for the Women's Championship. So hopefully it turns out to be a good card. We might end up doing 2 weeks just so everything lines up once again, that we do ours through the we do the get the next PLE, which I do believe is Survivor Series, right before our next pay-per-view AEW Dynasty coming up here on the 21st. Thoughts on WWE kayfabe and the attendance to be slightly above Wembley? All right, let me throw this out here, because I know I've been nitpicking at this all weekend on the old X and whatnot. I just want to make sure we're not missing anything here, because it seems they're still wrapping up here on TNT. All right, let me get very succinct and very clear about this. Nobody's trying to figure out. Tony Khan has always had a little bit of things to say about WWE, and he's not been afraid to say it. He's been saying, look, other promotions do this, we do this. One thing I will say about this, more importantly than anything, you had CM Punk earlier this week have his big interview with Ariel Helwani. Both people with an axe to grind against AEW in particular. You had Ariel Helwani, who basically got lambasted by Tony Khan and, frankly, Dana White. And now he's not getting press passes for any of those promotions. And then you got CM Punk, who actually got fired with cause. We could sweet talk our way around everything, and he could explain everything the way he wants to. I'm sorry, when you tell somebody to go deal with something immediately when he's trying to run a show in front of 80,000 people, and he doesn't, so you decide to go choke the guy out, I'm sorry, you missed a few details in there. And when you explain the situation, Tony Khan ain't explained nothing. We can explain it ourselves. It's easy enough. I'm sorry, there's one person in the wrong there. It's Mr. Punk in this case. Should have been dealt with earlier, but you don't deal with it that way no matter what. If I could just go randomly go up and choke somebody that I disagreed with, I'm sorry. That would put me in jail. But anyway. The thing that surprised me this week is all the pot shots that Paul Levesque has been throwing out. a lot of the WWE regulars have been throwing out too, to a point, but especially Levesque, and talking about losing Ospreay, losing Okada, losing Monet, because they didn't want to do the grind. Somebody's got to get Levesque some PR training here, because the easiest way to settle it out, if somebody's going to ask you about it, you simply say, we have a different business model than what our competition does, and if you're not willing to handle our business model, we will find people that will. And if you would say it that way, then I think it's a little more politically correct. It's a little more straightforward. It's a little more... It gives a sense that you're making a choice rather than trying to fight with somebody else about something, right? And to me, that's the most frustrating thing. And yes, McGee, you got to bang on here. It's going to stick in other free agents' minds. And I'll label 3 right now that potentially are free agents coming up very quick. Rebecca Quinn, Tyler Black, and Drew Galloway. And yes, I'm using potential names for AEW throughout that. Becky Lynch, Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre. All 3 of them are potential free agents coming up. Now, do I think they're going to stick with WWE? Probably. I do have a feeling that, and once again, this is another topic we can broach at another time here. We could possibly have Becky Lynch staying on the sidelines, not signing with anybody for a little while here. Like, she was paid good money. And with that money that she has, her child's getting into that part of her life where it's really crucial to have parents around, and it's the real formative years. So I think it would be important to have one, if not both parents around to keep things going and keep things manageable, right? So I wouldn't blame Becky one little bit if she decides to say, no, I want to stay home with my kid for a little while. I'm going to take 6 months off. It makes perfect sense why Rhea would win, because Rhea could get over an absolute spectacular match that she had tonight. Like, this is 2 Manias in a row that Rhea's just absolutely nailed it on. And Becky gets time. She put over the top talent, and she gets time to relax and be with her kid for a while. So for me, it works out. Seth Rollins, the only reason you're world champion is because Ospreay didn't want to work Tuesdays. Give you that one there. But seriously, like, for everything that Triple H is saying, it just... I know he probably wants to say a whole lot more, and I think he wants to be a lot more malicious, but at the same time, he ain't helping his cause right now, at all. He is not helping himself. Comes across like I don't know if jealous X is the right way to put it. He comes across as somebody that it's not a jealous X, it's more like a jilted lover. That, and I know this from experience dealing with a lot of independents here in Alberta here. You have some independents here that I think, honestly, they had a great shot at getting into AEW. But unfortunately, they just didn't want to go. It's WWE or bust. And a lot of that mentality is around with a lot of older wrestlers. That they think no matter what, they got to get to WWE to make it. It's starting to change with a lot of the younger wrestlers, though. They're looking at the opportunities. They're seeing the exposure. They're realizing that AEW, while it doesn't have the global recognition the way that a lot of other promotions have, like AEW is probably the closest when it comes to global exposure right now, because they've done a lot of work in New Japan. They've done a lot of work in Europe, especially in England here. They're doing a lot of work in Mexico. Like, for Pete's sake, we had, was it Blue Thunder versus Bryan Danielson yesterday? In Bryan Danielson's dream match? that ended up being a 25-minute banger that he wants to do again in America. So I get it. WWE is still the number one. They paraded out Julia during the NXT show right before the women's title match. Which, by the way, the NXT show I thought was absolutely great as well today. So WWE did a hell of a lot of great work there. But looking at everything else that's going on here, it looks like AEW finally realizes that they are... It looks like WWE is realizing that they aren't the only kid on the block anymore. And it sucks for a lot of people, but honestly, I think it could be a very good side for wrestling as a whole right now. It just frustrates me that anybody that talks about AEW, anytime they spout back. Like, everybody was lab-basting Adam Copeland for his promo at the start of Dynamite on Wednesday. Number one, he wasn't shooting on WWE. He was actually just saying, if you like wrestling, it works anywhere. If you like wrestling, pick something you like, enjoy it. Don't worry about the other stuff. Yes, they have their catchphrase, we're the best wrestle. If you're not working in a promotion not thinking that you're the best, maybe you shouldn't be in it. Unless you are intentionally a developmental league. Like NXT, I get a little bit under the collar here about how NXT says that they have the best women's roster in the world. The way they're presented, I would have to say second best. Because I think Impact works with their women a lot better than what NXT does. Talent-wise, I would have to say that NXT and AEW have a stronger roster. AEW they're horrible for presenting. Let's just call a spade a spade. Like, hell, tonight we're getting Yuka Sakazacki on our screens for the first time in who knows how long. And she was an absolute stalwart to begin it. And we're only getting one women's match again. Fans need to understand what they think 99% of the time, what they think is wrong. It's not just that. It's not... I really don't want to not give fans credit for what they... for what they're doing and what they're saying and what they're... what they believe. Like, fans are brought in. It's very simple with something as simple as a movie or a TV show or a TV channel. Hell, it can work for a car dealership. If you want to talk about car salesmen are probably the worst in the world. When you're talking about a certain product that you like, and you're going to hype up your product and these fans think it's the greatest product in the world, and you've been told for 5, 10, 20 years that this is the only product that matters, whether it be a car, whether it be a movie, whether it be a franchise, whether it be a TV station, whether it be a sports team. Somebody trying to show you otherwise, it's going to take a lot for you to change your mind. If you like a certain, like, for me, I'll dumb it down to food. Everyone told me craft dinner was the absolute, you had to get branded craft dinner. Like, if you don't have craft dinner for your meal, everything else tastes like garbage. Tonight, for my WrestleMania meal, I had Walmart brand craft dinner. It's a quarter of the price, tastes just as good as far as I'm concerned. But you got to be willing to get out there and check the other things and see how they feel. Fans, once they find something that they're comfortable with, and they know what they're going to get out of it, they usually stick around with it. That's what they were trying to bank on tonight in the main event, is the fact that everybody knows The Rock. Everybody knows that The Rock's going to throw out all his catchphrases, his usual BS work as he's doing. But when you look at the match and break it down and see what they actually did with it, that match was garbage. Like, I think everybody in the world knew it was going to be Bloodline rules for the next day. This whole thing as it goes around here, when it comes to the booking of Cody Rhodes, from winning the Rumble to giving up his title shot against Roman to go fight Cody, to taking it back again, to Triple H having to book the match, to Rock adding an extra part of the match, to adding the stipulation, to the beatdown, to the match tonight all of a sudden being no DQ, or the Rock telling the ref, I'm gonna fire you if you DQ this, or you count this out. So many beats of this storyline have just... It's a phrase of... It draws back to the days of McMahon. He's scared of using the new talent to ensure that things are going to get over. And he remembers the last time they did 2 in a row. And the last time they did 2 in a row at a main event, I do believe it was either Lesnar Roman or Cena Rock. I think it was Lesnar Roman, to be honest with to be perfectly honest. I'd have to look it up, but both of those completely fell flat. But they didn't look at why. They just looked at the fact that there were 2 back-to-back WrestleMania main events that were the same, and they fell flat. Now, if they would actually look back and see, okay, look at the story of what they did, and I got to hand it to Triple H. The way that Triple H booked this whole thing, up to that point where The Rock came back, it was very easy storytelling, very easy to understand, very easy to digest. But then all of a sudden, oh, here we go. Collision finally has hit our TVs. So we're actually going to get to watch some wrestling while we're chatting about wrestling. But yeah, well, I was... So let me finish my point about everything about that main event. Once other people got in Triple H's way when it came to booking that main event, that's when it came off the rails. Now, for those that are watching here, and since we are 1,400 points away, and I'm sure we're going to get those hopefully here in the next 2 hours, because we are here for the long haul, folks. So we'll be here till about 2 a.m. Eastern. So I will let you know that we are going to have our How the Ref Would Book challenge will be Cody Rhodes and finishing the story and how we would book it. I'm not saying that we have to. I'll make it clear. It's up to the presenter whether Cody finishes the story. But I think we can agree that it needs to be booked better than what it is right now. So myself, Kayla J, Vic the Villain from Heels, Pops, and Chair Shots, we're all going to take 10 minutes and we're all going to rebook how Cody would finish the story, whether he does or doesn't. But this whole run up to WrestleMania and maybe beyond, I'm leaving that wide open for them. I know my booking will possibly go up to SummerSlam just because we got a little bit of an extra filler to do, but I'm not going to spoil anything yet. It's not going to come out right away. It's probably going to be close to the end of the month here. Work is getting on my case about this. But, yeah, so that's where that's going to go there. But this is going to be fun here. Top Flight and FTR. Right off the bat. If you want to catch a show where they're going to have the talent get people onto their feet early when they're like, I believe this was taped right after Dynamite this week, or else it was taped on the Thursday, one or the other. Whew. Man, I went on a tangent there. Thank you, everybody, for listening to that. But yeah, if you guys have any more thoughts about what happened tonight, let me know. We can chat about that. We can chat about this. I will say that the storyline between Gunther and Sammy, I think, was absolutely excellent. Personally feeling, I feel the storyline has been fun. It's been giving Cody unbelievable odds that I feel are amazing when he finally wins. I think, Bogeyman, I agree with you. I will say I do agree with you about the fact that this has been piling on odds to Cody. I just feel that there's a couple things here that just make Cody look stupid, if you ask me. And I'll go into the particular one is pointing at Roman right after the Rumble and then a week later saying he's not going to face Roman just because The Rock showed up. It's just stuff like that. What does Cody do once he wins? You know what? How do I put this? How do I explain this? Do you remember the year that Michael Jordan retired? Better yet, Phil Jackson retired from the Bulls. He was the God King of Chicago. He was of the NBA. He did absolutely spectacular in everything he did. Once he left, I don't care who's there. You could have put another Hall of Fame coach there. He was not going to have a chance with anybody there. And that's what I'm worried about with Sammy. That's what I'm worried about with Cody if he wins. Is the fact that Cody could actually turn into that transitional champ that nobody really remembers. I think Cody's too good to have that happen, but yeah, I agree that was a weird decision. But Rock said in an interview he's hoping the fans will be excited for Rock Roman, so they had to do what I think they could have waited on Rock Roman. I can see the crowd turn like they did AEW, and that was the one thing that Cody always had a problem with. Cody always said that he never wanted to go heel. He didn't think it would be good for his daughter, and he always wanted to play the face. Which really sets it off, right? They could have waited, they should have. That's exactly where I would go on this, to a point. And like I said, I don't want to give too many spoilers away on my booking video here, because I still want to have all these bullet points in place. Because I do have a way that you work this out. And it gets you a hell of a storyline going out of this. So even with Cody having a possibly a short title reign. But I think that WWE is going to be taking a lot of what I have planned and using it after we're done here. But well, we'll see. Like I said, that's said to come up here the next few weeks. And like I said, I don't want to spoil the whole time. But yeah, looking at the rest of that card there, like the brother match was a little slow. The luchador match. Does Damian cash in tomorrow? I would have loved to see. Here's the thing where I think the answer is no to that. I think they want to use a face Damian to win it tomorrow, if they were going to do it. And the only way you do that is to have Judgment Day disband, which I do think is going to happen here. What I think happens is you get a segment on Monday where the Judgment Day is very disappointed in Damian because Damian couldn't stop R-Truth. It was R-Truth who ended up winning the titles. He couldn't control R-Truth when things got tough. And finally, Damian goes out on his own. He gets that little pop for being top face. And Drew comes out, and Damian cashes in on Drew. And Drew gets a one-day title reign. Deserves better. Don't think he's going to get it. He could actually get the chance to get the title back, but like there is a show going on in Scotland in just a few months, right? I'll cry if that happens and laugh when Drew joins AEW. That's the other factor, and I mentioned it earlier. There are 3 key people that I know of that have contracts coming up, and Drew's one of them. That's where I think there might be a case that Damian cashes in on Monday. For me, it makes a lot of sense in many respects. As much as it sucks to have Drew win the title and, have this awesome feud with Punk lined up. But at the same time, look at what happened to set that up. You had to have Punk come out to get this whole thing back on track. Now we got to see what kind of shape Seth's going to be in. What are your thoughts on Sheamus, the League of Social Media? One thing I found when it comes to the social media part, wrestlers at that level don't worry about the social media as much. So deleting it and reactivating it, it's just like, well, whatever. They're popular that once they come back, every simp or fan, sorry, don't want to hear no words. They'll come back as soon as he puts it back up. Now, is there a possibility Sheamus could leave? Absolutely. You could see him going to a lot of places. I could see him part of a meat division in AEW, absolutely. But I'll tell you this, if he shows up that Butcher is toast, oh my God! Well, folks, it's actually official. Thank you, Crowder, for adding in. We have officially reached the 150,000 plateau. The How the Ref Would Book challenge has finally been complete. Big thank you to Zodiac, McG, DBS Pod, who've been contributing most of it, but not all of it. To everybody else, thank you for contributing. Plan is to get things in motion here after WrestleMania weekend. Right now, Heels, Pops, and Chair Shots is at Lincoln Financial Field for WrestleMania this weekend. So, unfortunately, they're a little busy. And then, Kayla, well, I just have to bug her and get her back in case about what's going on here, so. So, folks, I have to ask you, do you think they're actually going to try and put Top Flight versus EVPs in Dynasty? I didn't think so either. I think it has to be FTR Bucks. And the fact that the Bucks can work their magic to try to befoodle this match. Now we get our first picture-in-picture. Now we're starting to feel normal again. Picture-in-picture commercials. Which I think we did get on the international feeds that we normally have, but oh well. But yeah, it's I could see Damian cashing in for one. Because I think this lack of title thing for the other person I'm looking at is Finn Balor. Like, if Damian isn't there, what does he do? Does he start teaming up with JD? Because he really hasn't. Like, I know he's been injured for a little bit. And he is injury prone. That's been proven. But at the same time, like, yeah, Finn deserves so much better. We could say that about so many people, and I found it funny that a lot of people were a little taken aback at the beginning of the show when Michael Cole called it the Triple H era of WWE. And everybody's like, no, don't call it that. Don't be stupid. Or then all of a sudden Triple H comes in the ring and says, welcome to a new era of WWE. So you know that's going to get thrown down our throat. About as much as throwing down the fact that it's so cold in Philadelphia down our throats too. I'm sorry. They said the lowest during the show was 50 degrees. Here in Alberta right now, it is, do the math. I think we're at around 36, 37 right now, Fahrenheit. I'm in shorts. It is beautiful out there right now. So I saw Cody wants to coin the Renaissance era. Hey, that would sound good. At its coldest, it was 10 Celsius. Yeah, like for a promotion that runs out of Florida for NXT, I could see where they would say this is cold, but they actually had heaters installed under the ring for those that didn't know. The reason they didn't have the LED boards around the ring like they normally do is they actually had heat. They had a special, nice reversal. That almost looked like a botch, but it was actually planned that way. I like that. Darius has got a great future here at AEW. Or sorry, Dante. Darius, as a tag team, they're going to work well, but Dante's got a future. He's been showing that for a while. Except for the fact Darius cannot hit, or sorry, Dante cannot get a sunset flip to save his life. It was also windy, just don't know how fast. Well, they said the wind chills were 45, which still isn't that bad. By the way, speaking of wind, the wind blowing through Rhea's new hair. Let's give a good Mario coin for that one there. But I will say, I'm really looking forward to what we're going to see tomorrow. I think the fallout of a lot more of these matches is going to mean a whole lot more tomorrow. Like the Bayley Io match that should have actually been a main event match today. Rhea should run that division for a long time. I think she will. She's so young. Like, everybody says, oh, she's in her prime. No, she's not even close to being there yet. She's got like every tool in the book right now that, you know, the potential for a long time run. And the best one that she has right now in terms of a great booking situation, I hate to say this, is the fact Charlotte's not around. Thank you for thinking exactly what I am, McG. Because, yeah, not having Charlotte around here has really helped. Because it almost feels like Charlotte has to be in that title picture. Charlotte has to be in that position. It's going to be very interesting as well that... Oh, that looked weird. A bulldog through the ropes. That was fun. Facebuster through the ropes. Okay. Sorry, I got to interrupt back and forth here because we got... That's the fun thing about this weekend. There is so much good wrestling to talk about. Like, so much potential all the way around. Like, let's face it. After what, like, Trick and Mello had a great match for Stand and Deliver tonight, or today. That was the start of this morning. That's what I was watching most of. How did I feel about Briscoe yesterday? I felt it was a good match. I felt it was a well-deserved. I did watch the whole card. I think you have to be a little bit more of a historian to understand why it was so great to have Briscoe win that. It's actually fun listening to Shivani be the lead commentator tonight. Last time they had Rick Abadi here for a lot of it. While he's still great, Shivani still has a flair for it, for that isn't as analytical as others. But yeah, watching Athena and Shida, that was a hell of a fun match. The 6-man title, I popped when Suzuki showed up. Dalton Castle throwing the boys at Giant TV was amazing. I'll be honest, McGee, in real time, it was about 3 boys too many. And the commentators made a big boo-boo, and they actually didn't sell the lack of identity for the last boy, the Paul Walter Hauser spot. Like, unless you know who Paul Walter Hauser is, you wouldn't have known who it was. Uh-oh. Jesus! Why is it always Dante getting caught in a high flying spot where he always gets nailed on something that ends it for him? Like, Jesus. Can watch Dalton. Yeah, like, overall the match was good. Like, the storytelling of the whole match was great. I will say this about the release, about the talents that got released earlier this week, and Tony Khan's actually said that he's going to be bringing some of them back. That it was a mistake to send all of them away in some cases. What he's probably going to end up doing is a lot of these guys are actually going to get per appearance deals rather than the a full contract, which actually is pretty smart with the amount of roster that they have. I would say a lot of the ROH people should get per appearance. Like, Tony Khan actually seems to care about the story. He feels bad when he has to make a bad decision. I'll say that. And the other part, like, I'm reading some of the comments, like the boys throwing out their shade about Dalton and about ROH in general, ROH AEW. I'm almost happy to see that they're not there now. Henry was more of a what the hell, and he's actually coming back. I could see a guy like Stu Grayson. It was just the immigration issues, and Tony Khan did say that for a numerous number of these releases, it was actually people not showing up to TV. You're asked to show up one day a week to TV. You show up one day a week to TV. If you're getting paid to be there, I don't care if you're sitting there catering all night. You're paid to be there, be there. I love how everybody loves him, but PAC's still got to go through the heel locker room or the heel entranceway. But yeah, like, if a lot of these talents are literally just saying, I'm not showing up to work, well, what are you gonna do? That way we can put you on a per appearance deal, and then if you don't show up, I don't pay you. That's not a big deal. Encore more. So is that literally one more time? I think Encore is going to suffer one more loss right away here. Oy. Oh, they gave him the whole rundown here. Oh, he's only been in wrestling for 3 years. Yeah, PAC's going to kill him. But, yeah, it's going to be fun to see what tomorrow's card's going to bring. It's fun to see what's been happening the last few days here. Like, Lee Johnson and Kyle Fletcher definitely worth checking out. I only got a chance to check out the second half of the match, but I heard so many good things about the first half of it. It was great. The Billy Stark spot, it was a really good sell with the fact that Billy pretended she was dead from injuring her neck on a top rope somersault. Or a swanton, basically. Miss Swanton, she claimed she hit a neck. Crew came in, put the neck brace on her. Aminata turned around, had to help her out. And the promo after where Mom gave her crap and basically Athena turned into Christian Cage right after that. That was, yeah, great setup there overall. The Kingdom versus the Infantry was a pretty decent match. Those guys knew how to bring it, and they worked well together. And I already talked about the six-man match. The fact that I wish I would have had a camera on me when Suzuki showed up, because a lot of people don't know about Monster Sauce here in North America with Alex Zane and Lance Archer. Like, Alex Zane's done some singles work in AEW. And Lance, I didn't know this up until Friday, but apparently Lance does some English commentary at New Japan. And if he's going to do that, I would highly recommend get him a mic here once in a while here in... He didn't want to give the fans the black arrow. That's hilarious. Or else he realized he kept him too far away, right? Lance is one of the best wrestling persons. Absolutely. And I did realize that Lance Archer is a homage to... He's honest, not biased. Yeah. I like that in my commentary. Like, sometimes... Don Callis ain't the worst guy in the world when it comes to commentary, because he will call it down the middle once in a while. Then he'll throw his bullshit in. Give him Okada. I love this. That's who I wanted to hear. Let's go. So, if we get Okada and PAC at the pay-per-view, who loses? Because PAC never loses to anyone. Not us. That's the biggest plus we could get. But PAC he never gets pinned. And Okada's brand new, so it's not like he's gonna eat a pin. Oh, I'm glad we got Jericho and Hooks so we can talk about something else for a while. Yes. We do get the TNT feed, so they're starting to talk about playoffs here, so Jericho needs to... I don't know if he needs to retire. Honestly, Big Chi, Jericho does need some time away from the screen, because I do feel that absence will make the heart grow fonder again. My heart of hearts hopes that he's waiting for the last the next two spots coming up, which in back-to-back weeks they go to Winnipeg and Edmonton. I know they're going to Calgary in July, but that's a little stretch here. But next month, AEW goes to Winnipeg on the 1st and Edmonton on the 8th. So I'm thinking that Jericho might be waiting for that show at home, and then he'll take some time off. At least I hope that's the case. But if that's not the case and he's still around, yeah, like he's... As much as he's talked about bringing the other wrestlers to another level, he has really brought down a lot of other ones. Like he talks about making Ricky Starks. Now, Ricky Starks, granted, they found some gold with him and Big Bill, but at the most part, Ricky hasn't done much. Actually, Andretti is now back to ROH and working with Top Flight here once in a while as a trio, once in a while as a single. Not working a whole lot, period. The biggest thing he's doing is swallowing water bottles. And now with Hook, it almost feels like they're sucking the life out of his run, too. But in many ways, I do feel that Chris Jericho has got that Sting gold card with Tony Khan. Like, you could do whatever you want. And with that Sting gold card, you know, Sting thought of it correctly. Never wanted to put himself over, never wanted to be in a singles match. Tony Khan insisted on him winning. I think Jericho has been pushing this a little bit more, and he still thinks he can still do it the way he used to. And I look at guys like Jericho. I even look at Dwayne tonight. Hell, Dwayne getting into the ring, going to do his pose on the second rope. It almost felt like he pulled his hamstring or something, or his quad. That he couldn't climb up there properly. Oh, here goes Danielson.
From Dynasty. I think we all know just how important this year is to you and your incredible professional wrestling career, all the things you've been looking to accomplish. But now to know that you're stepping in the ring with one of our biggest signees here in AEW, in Will Ospreay. How do you feel heading into that match?
This whole wrestling has never been, to me, about proving if I'm better than anybody else. It's proving where I'm at in comparison to myself.
Ah.
The best version of me that's possible. And I use other people as a measuring stick for that, about how far I can push myself. And you know, that's actually one of the fears that you have in wrestling somebody like Will Ospreay, is that he doesn't ever quit, right? So it's like, oh no.
And when you say
So how far can you push yourself? I like this.
to you,
We're in this constant wheel of evolving, right? Always. Like, I am not the same person that I was when I was 21. And Will Ospreay will not be the same person when he's my age that he is now.
I feel like I probably know the answer to this question already, but I'm gonna ask you anyways. I mean, you talk about just the differences between you guys, and you don't feel that pressure. But how much of this match is for you versus how much the fans are clamoring for a match like this?
When I go through this journey, and this is all this, I'm not just talking about the journey of wrestling, I'm just talking about the journey of life. It's all about testing things on myself and seeing how do I want to live this life. We get this one life that we know of. How do you want to live it? How are you going to grow? What are you going to mature into? What is the person that you want to be, right? And so I watch somebody like Will Ospreay, and I get excited to test myself against him, because I was sitting there at Revolution when he wrestled Takeshi, right?
Yeah.
And I was sitting there next to Jen Pepperman, and she turns to me, says this to me directly, and says, "This might be the best wrestler I've ever seen."
Oh, the Jennifer Pepperman comment.
Come on. I have no doubt the fans will enjoy it, but that's not necessarily why I do it. That's not why I do what I do.
Well, regardless, we're all very much so looking forward to this match. The American Dragon taking on Will Ospreay at Dynasty.
Oh, it's going to be a fun match. Oh, God. Here comes Hook. Get him out of here. So they're okay. So I see what they're doing now. They're actually, unfortunately, Dasha was one of the victims of the layoffs last week, and so they're going to use Bobby Cruz for both shows, right? And it sort of makes sense. You don't need to use two different ring announcers for 3 hours of ring announcing. Well, I guess with AEW on the Saturday shows, they're doing 4 hours. Because they do 2 hours of ROH and 2 hours of Collision. On Wednesdays, they do 3 hours. So Justin Roberts, I'm sure, can handle 3 hours without an issue. So. But I was just reading, one thing I really enjoy about WrestleMania and a lot of things that were going on. Like, I know personally myself, what I was doing tonight, I was hanging out in the Remember the Game Discord for a lot of it. I was also hanging out on the GPTV Twitch channel in the chat. It's a group of 6 ladies that play different games, but tonight they were actually doing their own sidecast of WrestleMania. And it's nice to see so many people that enjoy wrestling, but don't necessarily have the knowledge to it to the way that a lot of people do. And I love when I get to fill in the gaps once in a while and just try to help people understand how wrestling works and how wrestling goes in many ways. Not to tell you what to think, but to say, here's probably where the line of reasoning's going. You can make your own conclusion on where it's going to go from there. I do love me some Shane Taylor. He was one of the absolute stalwarts in Ring of Honor prior to the sale. So. And then Lee Moriarty's just one of those blue chippers that got picked up right around Daniel Garcia. Here's another one with Daniel Garcia. Like, we haven't seen him in a little bit. I know he had that fight at Revolution against Jericho. Or not Jericho, Christian. Basically to take the spot of Adam Copeland before they did the I Quit match. To give Christian some time off here, but. So next Saturday they're doing Battle of the Belts as well. He was on Rampage. Okay, so he's on Rampage. Okay, so that made sense. Yeah, I didn't get a chance to watch Rampage. I had Ring of Honor on. I was also playing MLB The Show. Because I got a little frustrated on Thursday stream about how inefficient I was and some of that stuff. We'll say I'm almost done my Team Affinity, so I'm actually happy about that. I got two of the 6 done. You want a 4-way to challenge Copeland? Okay, so we're getting Penta next week, and then he's gonna be taking out. Then he'll be taking on the winner of that'll be taking out Garcia, I assume. Bit frustrated with the show. It seems like they're leading into PACs a little too much. I don't know about that. I haven't really. It's like any other live service game. They're wanting to get extra money out of you, right? If you want your absolute top teams, no matter what, yes, you're going to have to lead into the PACs. But the one thing I do appreciate about the show this year versus other years, I don't have 26 diamonds already in my lineup that I can accomplish everything with. The fact that you got some more golds, and it does make the game a little tougher for you. Because if you're using gold players versus diamond players, you really do find a difference in your hitting, your pitching, your fielding, especially with your throws. Because I know personally, I just do classic throwing, and if your guy is not a diamond fielder, unless you're handling it perfectly, you cannot get a proper throw out without stopping and aiming before you press the button to set up your throw. You try doing a running throw with your player and he's not a diamond, it ain't gonna work. Oh, here we go. Sorry about that, chat. Got it. They're not paying my bills, so I ain't gonna pay their bills. So I have to say, I'm giving the show another month here. By the end of April, if it's not really grabbing me the way that it should. I know that Frosty was in here on Wednesday talking about NBA 2K Battleground or Playgrounds 2. So I am going to try and pick that up for, I think they all have it on the Switch. It's basically an homage to NBA Jam in many ways. Right now, I do know on Xbox they have a deal for WWE 2K Battlegrounds and NBA Playgrounds for $20, I do believe it is. But one game I'm looking forward to is the NCAA football game that's coming out here in June here. Seen so many people looking to enjoy that, and I've always been a football fan, but Madden infuriates me a little bit, just on how complicated it can get. I like my game simple when I play. I don't like to overly think too much. Jericho just tapped out twice. The referee wouldn't call it, but that doesn't surprise me at this point. As they went away from picture-in-picture back to full screen. Commercials. Somebody in production should get fired over this. Seriously. Again. Yeah, now we're on a full... Oh, yeah. I want Jericho to tap out during the break and have the commentators try to explain that to everybody. But yeah, let me know in the chat, what are you guys looking forward to tomorrow in terms of wrestling? Like, I know there's a few shows going on. I know there's a lot of preview shows going on throughout the day, so if you get a chance to stop by, like I said, I'll be on about 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. or noon Mountain Time. That's usually when most of the morning coffee shows wrap up for wrestling, so trying to get that nice little sweet spot in between. Uh-oh. Great to see Jericho walk into a Uranagi just as I love how Jericho wrecks his knees by putting his knees up on that splash. Oh, there's a typical Jericho. Okay. One thing I was actually excited about when it comes to wrestling games, I'm loving 2K, by the way. The GM mode is actually a lot of fun for me. But one other game that I do have, it was supposed to be a spiritual successor to the WrestleCade games, or the WrestleFest games that you had in the arcades. And actually, Retromania Wrestling turned out to be quite that. And I was really enjoying it. You just became victim of the whole big backlog that you get. But they just announced yesterday that the newest DLC for their package were my two favorite wrestlers growing up, my favorite tag team growing up, Axe and Smash, are being added to the game. So we'll, once they get the actual DLC done, I'll probably pick that up and we can check that out. I know the first time we did it, we did a little, did some of the storyline. I think we might, after season 1 of 2KGM, we might pop in and do some Retromania for a little bit, and then we'll get into season 2. Because I really enjoyed doing the video game wrestling prior to, or following each of these episodes. We're obviously not doing it tonight because I'm not an idiot. Because I'm not staying up till 2 in the morning to run WWE 2KGM mode. Where most of the time all you do is watch, you book your show and then you're watching most of it, so. As long as they're not calling for the the Lion Tamer there. If you're wondering what the difference is between the Lion Tamer and the Walls, the Lion Tamer, Jericho actually puts his knee across, or his shin across the neck of his opponent. And there's the tap. That was... Alright, well, I hope you guys got your snacks and got your break if you needed to. Because, well, let's face it. That was a match. Holy crap! Where the hell did he come from? The last time we saw Go-Go, he was being cheered while Cody Rhodes was getting booed for cheering for America. The last time we saw Anthony Ogogo, Cody Rhodes had just got the tattoo. That is a long time ago. Like, I've heard a lot from him. And he's literally said, just book me in something. All right, I can live with this. Oh, Jericho's dead. The body bag. Oh, the flag. All right, I like to see this. Ogogo joins Shane Taylor Promotions. I just want to see Ogogo out here. Like, the fact that Ogogo had a lot of talent and then just, yeah, literally disappeared off the face of the planet at that point. Like, he was injured for a little bit, but he's been fine for months. All right, Dustin, what do you got to say? So is he doing a self-heal promo? Okay.
All the while saying to myself constantly over and over and over, one day, Dustin, one day, I will become world heavyweight champion. 36 years later, there's one thing that I have not accomplished.
So he wants to take on Joe.
World heavyweight champion. Samoa Joe, although you're under no obligation to face me, I'm asking you, Joe. Give me a chance. I challenge you for the world heavyweight title on Dynamite next week in Charleston, West Virginia. The last of my kind. There's not anybody quite like me that you faced.
Okay.
All I want is a chance. All I want is an opportunity. All I want is that world heavyweight title that I dreamt of for my entire
Sorry about that, chat.
You can give me that. If you got the ball.
So Cody versus Joe. Or sorry, Dustin versus Joe.
Put the title on the line in Charleston, West Virginia. AEW
I like the you owe me nothing angle. Yeah, I like.
Rose at 55 years old versus you.
He's played the Joe's pride.
You won't regret it.
And the level of respect that Joe earned throughout his career.
I'm scared of no man. And you're nobody.
He's tried to show, he's trying to show, yes, I understand you don't owe me anything, but you know what it's like to treat your veterans with respect, and I am that last veteran. So if you could give me a chance, that's all I'm asking for is a chance. I want to prove that that it means something. So next Wednesday, we're probably going to get Dustin versus Joe, which, yeah, it's probably going to end up being a schmoz with Swerve coming out, but I would assume that that's the angle that we go there, because we're only 2 weeks away from Dynasty here. Well, just over 2 weeks. 2 weeks and a day, sorry. I can't tell you, I am really looking forward to that card. So just so you guys know, I'll do out the formal graphic and all that this week here, hopefully for Wednesday. But coming up at Dynasty, I'm going to be joined actually by one of the fellow Backbreaker Video members. He also is on the Saturday Night's Main Event podcast here on Patreon, as well as Andre Melbo's Wrestling Talk. And it's Andre C., the OG of Backbreaker Media here. Me, Andre, and Brian were the original three. So it's going to be nice because he is a real Ospreay fan. So I wanted to make sure to get him into this one with Danielson. And it's going to be a lot of fun here chatting wrestling with somebody else here. So there's actually two people we could bounce off of here. I know he's been doing a ton of work here with our local establishment here the last few weeks, so we'll talk more about it on Wednesday. But yeah, I promise that I want to try to get a special guest on for every special Dynamite, Rampage, or pay-per-view. So it should be a lot of fun here having Andre on, and hopefully the wrestling lives up to the billing, which AEW pay-per-views always do. That's the one thing about the ROH pay-per-view yesterday. I didn't have to pay the extra because I have Honor Club already. But at the same time, I know that I wouldn't feel bad about paying for it. Because, well, frankly, everything that AEW does in terms of pay-per-views, I don't think they've had a bad one. There's been some where some matches have been a little meh. Oh, here we go. Here's the rebuttal interview. Nice to see Renee's changed her outfit for this one.
Okay, well, you're sitting. I will stand. You've been here in AEW for a little bit now. What about competition-wise? I mean, you've already had some pretty heavy-hitting matches. How does this stack up compared to what you're used to in New
like why I feel very confident doing the Bryan Danielson match, just because that's his style. Like his whole style was originated from Japan, and like learning that style and that trait, and I'm well versed in it because I went over there and I've done the thing that he's never done. I flipping conquered it.
Okay, let's talk about this match with Brian. I mean, we're just weeks away from this match coming up at Dynasty. This is a match that I'm sure you've been thinking about for a long time. I know.
I love that they don't have to do much for this match.
How do you feel heading into this?
Like, while it is an honor to wrestle Bryan Danielson, it really is. Like, grew up watching. Do you know what I mean? I still don't view this as any different to any of my other competitors. I just view Bill Bryan as the tippy top. This is like the S tier professional wrestler for the longevity, for how
Oh, the hammer's just for fun if you want to bonk me in the head a few times. It's one of the special attachments I found that, you know, sometimes you want to get frustrated, just bonk something here, whether you want to bonk Kenny in the head or you want to bonk me.
when he was 30 years old. Like, I don't know what he's doing, but
Just a cute little extension I found on Justin Wong's channel. So, by the way, good to see you here, Keshi, tonight. Late night stream for a late night collision here. So, we're just
Is that something that you're really thinking about how much this match is for you versus
they actually started about 20 minutes late, so we're probably going to be going closer to midnight tonight by the time we're done. But yeah, they're talking about Ospreay and Danielson coming up at Dynasty here.
best wrestlers performing where wrestlers wrestle.
Once again, using that best wrestlers wrestle moniker here. All right, who are the House of Black sacrificing tonight? That match is going to be absolutely amazing. Absolutely. That card is really shaping up to be a very special one. We just found out tonight that it's going to be FTR versus the Bucks for the tag team titles. We also got Swerve and Joe for the heavyweight title. Julia Black and Willow Nightingale for the TBS title. And I'm sure Mercedes will probably be on commentary for that, because she claims she's got next. Oh, we're getting... Oh, that's at the pay-per-view. That's right. We got Copeland, Kingston, and Briscoe taking on the House of Black in a trios match next... in 2 weeks' time here. So this is gonna... The whole card's shaping up to be amazing, and... Sacrificial lambs. I'd like to see how they made this into a trios, other than the fact that they're cannon fodder. Don't get me wrong, Brian Keith, Christopher Daniels, Matt Sydal, all great wrestlers. But this has to be something that's going to put over the House of Black. But I do appreciate that Christopher Daniels still gets his TNA theme tonight, so... It's actually nice to see Christopher Daniels here at Collision tonight, because I do remember way back when this was one of the people that weren't allowed to be at Collision due to Charles Montavious Punker. Well, that was one of the stories involved. Yeah, there's the graphic for the Trios of Dynasty. That's going to be a lot of fun. It's interesting seeing King in some red tights. It's sort of like what happened with Gunther tonight. it really threw me back, and it was sort of an indicator to me that Gunther was losing tonight. The fact that he was wearing red tights versus the normal black ones. Like, I can't remember the last time that Gunther wore something other than black. I do appreciate it, though, for the fact that it's one of my biggest pet peeves in wrestling is that you have two wrestlers wearing the same color as they're wrestling. Like, you have both the heel and the face both wearing black or red or green. Especially if you move quick in there, because a lot of people can't keep up with that. And Black's just dominating here at this point. But as we get into it, like, it's been an hour and a half. We've been streaming already here, talking about wrestling and having a collision come up. Just want to say thank you to everybody for stopping by here tonight. I truly do appreciate it. Like, let's face it, there is a ton of wrestling going on tonight. The fact that you decide to stop by with me here and check things out with a nice... I call it a nice nightcap. Because I think our main event tonight is going to be Penta and Komander. And yes, I still call him Komander, not Commander. It just sounds cooler. I just love how that left-handed clothesline just looks that much more deadly. Just from the angle it comes off, it almost feels like you're giving a little extra oomph on it. But yeah, like I was saying, that when it comes to Dynasty here, right now we got five matches lined up. Oh, and I forgot to mention Thunder Rosa and Toni Storm. That's going to be included there too. So we do have 2 women's matches confirmed already. I'm assuming there's probably going to be a third. Even if it is on the pre-show, they'll probably end up throwing a third one in there. As I'm hearing the Oilers are winning again, which is always a bonus. But yeah, it just seems like AEW is just hitting their stride properly here. Like, all wrestling is at a certain level here tonight. Like, I'm hoping, my hope against hope right now, personally. Like, AEW, WWE, Impact, New Japan, all of them. Cut all the pettiness aside. Let's just focus on wrestling. Because I think this might be the last weekend where we have to deal with the overbooked BS of the, I'm almost going to say Vince Rock era. Because I'm sorry, tonight, I get it. A lot of people enjoyed the main event once they got back into the ring, but the fact that they just simply used Rock's position in WWE to enforce a no DQ match. Like, it literally walks in and just says, yeah, you start counting us out, you're fired. You call for a DQ, you're fired. Like, I'm sorry, that's stretching a little bit more than it should. I love Game Time Art. He threw out just an amazing tweet right now, and I think I'll just repost it for you guys. It would be absolutely hilarious if Cody loses to Roman on Sunday, and TK just decides, you know what? If he won't finish the story, we will. And they give Dustin the title over Samoa Joe. Of course, with Swerve's help, which that would be an obvious part of it, but It would be funny if that was the case. I don't expect that in a million years, but as we've heard, wrestling is 97% what you expect, and then that 3% of what you don't expect is the part that pops you the most. Buddy and Matt Sydal is actually a pretty nice matchup I like to see. Sydal is such a great reactionary wrestler for a lot of these guys. Took a little bit of a chug, but they got it off. Nice back elbow. I'm actually surprised we don't get a Julia Hart out here tonight, though. Maybe they decide to not necessarily split them up, but give a little time separately between the two. Malachi down like a house of bricks. Jesus. Lost a few teeth on that knee. Actually, that was pretty smart on Brian Keith's part. Let his partner take the bullet, and now he's clear that he doesn't have to worry about the finisher, right? Isn't that the way it works? If somebody else gets the finisher, you don't. I thought that was one of the unwritten rules of wrestling. But on one of the things, like I was saying earlier, the thing I was checking about the Discord and the chats that I was dealing with, it's always great to see new wrestling fans just enjoy the wrestling tonight. I know that being that we watch a lot more wrestling here together and being a lot more experienced in wrestling, you can get a little jaded when it comes to some of this stuff, but just watching people just say, look, I enjoyed it. It's a little crazy, but I enjoyed it still. Oh, geez. That would have been hilarious. Malachi just turned to Buddy and just said, finish him now. And Keith almost got out of it. Well, that's it. Really glad that everybody got their stuff in a little bit here. And Sydal, Daniels, Keith, they all got a little bit of a show here. Got a little bit of a spotlight. But you had to know House of Black was winning this, right? Ah, here comes Mr. Copeland. Maybe. While Copeland's in the rig. And Copeland's like, oh, no. And Black's like, you son of a biscuit. I really want to see this one-on-one. Malachi and Copeland? Yes, please. Oh, and FTR's coming out back too. Well, I guess you got a different trios team that wants to go at it now, so this trios division's really developing here. All right, welcome to the schmaz. And they're coming up. What the hell is that sweater vest? That is an awesome sweater vest. Oh, here we go. Spear number 2. So Malachi doesn't get a spear. I got a feeling we got a 10-man tag coming in here. Malachi's not dumb. He'll get out of here as we get out of here. The hell? So the Bucks are going to be presenting backstage footage from All In and We'll Discuss for the first time. This is going to be the ultimate swerve job. Because everybody's expecting Punk footage, right? From All In. A lot of people forget. FTR Bucks 3 was at All In. And a lot of people forget that it looked like the Bucks' shoulders were up. I love that Roddy just hasn't given up the gimmick.
Hey, look at me. With your one up. Have you seen what I've been doing with my international title?
Yeah, nothing.
Have you seen that I've done it on my own, just like my good friend Kyle O'Reilly? And if you think you can beat us, I mean me, that's laughable, my friend. Because you have about a 1% chance. Ain't that right, Wardlow? But hey, you get to tell your grandkids you got beat by wrestling legend.
Fans have just been told the EVPs, Matthew and Nicholas Jackson, have a very important announcement about this Wednesday on TBS. The Young Bucks will present the never-before-seen backstage footage from All In London. They'll discuss what happened at Wembley Stadium for the very first time.
I still say that is going to be footage about their tag title match. That's going to be a hoodwink moment. There is no way they're going to talk about the whole Punk incident. Could they? Are they going to get that petty? Like I was saying off the top of the show, like I want all these companies just to shut up and wrestle. Like, don't start taking shots at the other guys, but I will stand up for what I said last week when Adam Copeland came out for his promo. I don't mind when Copeland comes out and says, look, we are not that bad of a company. No, we are not as disorganized as you're telling us. No, this is not a bad locker room. We just have bad people in it. And more importantly, we just enjoy being out here and we enjoy wrestling. Because if that's the case, then I don't mind that one bit. But I don't think they're doing that, but it could only be a warning shot to Punk, as we know the truth, not your side only. That's a thing. And we were discussing that earlier, like, with Punk talking about what he was saying, I think this could have came out maybe 8 months ago and it would have settled a lot of headaches for us. Because, let's face it, it could be a he said, she said, but once somebody pulls out the video and there's video of CM Punk going up and choking Jack Perry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, you're done. There's no ifs, ands, or buts around it. I still feel that this could be a swerve in talking about FTR and the Bucks, or setting up for that tag match, but because it's a little coincidental that this shows up right after FTR wins the titles. Could also show something that FTR is a little bit of a behind the scenes butt kissers. Punk has proven he's not, nor ever has been, the voice of the voiceless. He's a corporate selling hypocrite, in your opinion? I get it. And as far as I'm concerned, when it comes to Punk, when it comes to any of these people, it's more of a, how do I put this in the proper sense? The number one goal of somebody is to put themselves over. If they can put the company over at the same time, great. Oh, God.
Is the shocking return of Anthony Ogogo joining Shane Taylor Promotions and laying you two out after the match. What is your reaction to that?
Oh, my action was pretty pissed off, Lexi. And once again, like you said, Lion Hook was a very impressive victory over Taylor and Moriarty. But
I don't know how impressive it was.
impressive victory. We get an impressive right hook from Anthony Ogogo to my face. You laid us out, STV. Congratulations. And there's 3 of you and 2 of us, but that's okay. That's just the challenge that Hook and I welcome. It's what we've been waiting for. Since we don't have a third man with us. I got some. You got it. I got a partner for us. You got a third man. I got a third man. Who? Shibata.
Ah!
Hook, I will have your back against Shane Taylor Promotions. They are going down.
I love how Shibata's gimmick is using Google Translate for all his promos. All his promos.
Call this a sucker riot? Come on, boys. Let's take him to school. Oi!
Ed, Astrid, how the hell are you guys doing here tonight? Hope everything went well. I hope you enjoyed. There you go. There's your shout out for you. For Raiders, welcome. I am Mike the Rev, variety streamer, former pro wrestling commentator. We're covering AEW's Collision tonight, which started 20 minutes late, so we are just over an hour in. Astrid, hope you're doing well. I know you've been a busy lady today. And Ed, you've been doing like 6 billion things this weekend, so good for you. We've gone through a very interesting Collision tonight. We talked a lot of wrestling about Mania today. As we're just getting into the Yuka Sakazacki versus Trish Adora match, which I think is rather ironic, the fact that Astrid's popping in and we get a ladies match. Always great. I love how Yuka, when she comes up to the ring, she's hanging herself with her hair. One of the ladies that we got in the AEW Fight Forever game that I'm actually shocked it's there, but a lot of fun to play with on the game. Yeah, we talked a lot of, we had a 25-minute wait for the show to start because of NCAA, but other than that, we've had a lot of fun discussing Mania today. What did you guys think of Mania altogether? I think the first half of the show was pretty dang good. It started to slow down around the LDF, LWO matches, the brother versus brother. Pick back up with the Sabi Gunter match, and then that schmoz fest that made no sense between Rock and the Rock Robot and the Cody guys. Match was a little underwhelming, and the main event took too long to pick up. Yeah, I can agree with you on all that. But some good news for here earlier tonight. We actually we reached our goal for the How the Ref Would Book challenge, so it is actually. Thought it was overall good. Yeah, Wacko. I'll throw this straight out. I don't think that you could actually physically get a bad show out of AEW or WWE. Straight up. Just plain, flat, simple. There's too much talent there. Yes, we'll have a few ugly spots or whatnot. I just hold my WWE, my AEW to a higher standard now. Because with the athletes that they have there, I expect a very high level. And if it's not to that level, I will call it out. But yeah, obviously, I appreciate the fact that, you know, I was watching, I was mentioning this earlier tonight. What I was doing while I was watching, I had the NCAA's on my main TV. I had Mania on my big monitor. I had the Discord to remember the game here, the wrestling chat there on my phone. And over here, I was watching GPTV. Some a regular stream that I check out here, and they were doing a sidecast of it. And between the Discord and the Twitch chat that I was on, a lot of new fans were watching it. A lot of new fans were really excited and wanted to watch more. And if WWE is able to pick up a lot of these new fans and hopefully they can continue on, I'm all for it. There are going to be more of us that are going to be bitter and old. But here's the thing. We're still going to watch. The fact that they're picking up new fans, I consider that a win for them. Didn't expect more out of the USO match. I really thought they were going to go harder. Me too. And then once they got about halfway in, then I realized, no, this is a bloodline story. So they're really going to play this up storyline-wise. I knew that the main event was going to be about I was trying to count in Taker entrances, how long the entrances were going to take for all the wrestlers there. But in terms of everything else, I popped when Kelsey showed up. I called the Sabi win, I believe, earlier today on the OLE preview show. You go back and check the video. I do believe I said that's going to happen here because they were playing up the Rocky story perfectly here. So I think pretty much every match that happened today happened exactly the way I would expect it to go. It's a very predictable Mania in many respects. And I do hope for a couple surprises. I would love to see the fact if Roman retained tomorrow and watch the internet burn. Just for that point. I think it's a good time to get Cody the title, but if he doesn't get it, I'd like to see how the internet burns with that. But speaking of which, earlier tonight, the big news I had, we actually completed our How the Ref Would Book challenge group goal. So I did officially announce that the topic we are going to be covering for our booking is how would we book finishing the story? Well, even whether Cody finishes with the title, without the title, whichever. I think there's different ways you could book it to make it go well. And myself, Kayla J, and Vic from Heels, Pops, and Chair Shots, we're each going to be doing up a little 10-minute video about how we would book the finishing of Cody's story. I'll tell you this, I got a doozy planned up, so I'm not spoiling anything, but That was a little slow pace, but I can still get behind it here. We get Sakazaki. Trish seems like she had to slow down a little bit for her there. Sorry about the nose nuggets there. Just days like this run you down a little bit. But yeah, overall this weekend, I think so. If you're new here or whatnot, let me know what you think is what you thought about the weekend so far. I've been able to check out personally the ROH Supercard of Honor, which I thought was an absolute great show. Stand and Deliver was pretty dang good too, as well. Like I think it was top notch. Mania, of course, the Collision here tonight. I did get to listen to the watch along of the TJPW show with Astrid, Bobby Munson, and Andre C. Or sorry, it was Melball, Bobby, and Andre. So, which once again correlating around to other stories here. For AEW Dynasty coming up in just over 2 weeks. Andre C. Will be joining me as the special guest of the watch along. So we're going to be talking wrestling for 5 hours. For a lot of people that don't know, we are the OG members of Backbreaker Media here, formerly known as the Edmonton Sports Podcast Network, or ESPN for short. Yes, I was waiting to get sued, and we never did. Which technically we did do that for Backbreaker Media as well, but... Jesus! I think that was supposed to be a high-angle Michinoku driver, which actually was just a body slam. She couldn't hold her up. Yuka looks absolutely drained here right now. Ooh. Sakazaki was a little late on that kick out, but... Nice reversal. Sakazaki's going to have to do something to keep her now, though. This crowd doesn't know what to think of it right now, which I don't really blame her. Ah, nice little splash. Got her. I guess when you get a little extra oomph on that splash, we go over the top here, down the middle of the ropes versus the turnbuckle. 14 months, okay. Hello? Speaking of not around for 11 months. We haven't seen Serena Deeb in months. Oh, this was a huge moment here on Dynamite on Wednesday. Trent ends up kneeing Orange Cassidy and just walks off. It's right past Sue.
they're expected. I'll tell you this.
I like this promo.
And I'm not a young boy anymore. Like you said, I'm 25. I'm not a rookie. I know for a while it was looking like that was all I was going to be. I was getting a little worried, I'm not going to lie. But every week I get to come here and I get to get motivated and inspired by seeing people who are in the full prime of their career. People like Konosuke Takeshita, people like Kazuchika Okada, people like Will Ospreay. These people motivate me because they're some of the greatest wrestlers that I've ever seen in my entire life. But I think it's time that Daniel Garcia starts to insert himself in these conversations with them as well.
A lot of people said that Garcia should have been a part of this discussion a while ago. I find it interesting how they threw out the quick little promo on Trent and then all of a sudden there's Daniel Garcia there. I would have liked to see a little more interaction with the fact that maybe they have a match between those two. Oh, this is going to be fun. So, folks, we didn't get our meat match at Mania. Outside of the eating contest between Omos and Otis. But now we get our meat division match between Claudio and the Butcher. Which, ironically enough, is great when you're having a meat division match with the Butcher in it. It's nice to see Claudio being a bit of a face tonight. It's been a while. It's been more of a jerk for the last little while. Played the whole song too. I thought the blade was released. You would think if, a guy's released, they'd get him out of the promo videos, but maybe not. Butcher's got 56 wins? So, folks, you see those new Jazzwares figures that they got from the classic ROH collection? Any of you thinking about picking them up? I'd have to see what the cost is on them. I think they'd probably be a little bit more than... This crowd's just having none of it here right now. Shout out to Nigel trying to get over the Butcher's band there every time I die, but I thought they broke up now, so... Claudio's just... I wonder some days if Claudio actually knows what his real strength is. So, Chad, I have to ask you, for next Saturday, do you want to see Battle of the Belts? Do you want us to watch Battle of the Belts together, or... Usually those are like Saturday night's main event matches. They got 3 title matches that don't change ads. Especially this close to a pay-per-view. Because normally on Saturday nights we'll do one week of our WWE 2K My GM part of the stream after Collision's done, or Dynamite on Wednesdays. But if you guys want to do Battle of the Belts as well, I'm not against it. Just there is a possibility they could just do what they did in Toronto with Collision and Dynamite, right? Do pretty much the 3 hours straight. Nice job by I really do hope that Nigel's Magic show last night was better than that joke there. Oh, it's straight into a crossface. I like that by the Butcher. Butcher just had no stop, just go right now. Because I'm trying to keep a grip of how far we are. I think we're probably going to have one more match after this. And if you're wondering why I can't figure out how much time's left, they actually did start about 25 minutes late for Collision tonight, for those that are coming in late. So, yeah, it's all about the NCAA tournament and the analysis. That's the word I'm looking for here, that they had to do setting up the match on Monday between Purdue and UConn. It's just nice to see Claudio here in a position where he knows he's good. He can show off that he's good. I know he doesn't have much for a promo right now, or a program as well. But when Moxley's right now in Japan trying to clean up everywhere there, which apparently Moxley's fighting for the NJPW World Championship at Windy City Riot. All right, that's it. You're done. Claudio straightforward to the finish. I love it. But yeah, and Bryan Danielson right now, he's focused on Ospreay, and that's it. So there's nothing really new coming there. Oh, great job by Claudio here. But yeah, we still got our main event here tonight, which is Penta versus Komander. I love this promo. For all the production snafus that AEW has on their shows. Sorry, I just want to mute that. For all the snafus they have on their production shows, they come up with some great vignettes now. They're starting to really step it up. Granted, WWE has changed theirs up, and theirs are excellent as well. It just seems like the overall caliber, like Metal Shed metal sharpens metal, right? So everybody seems to be getting a lot better. And it's great for the fans. It really is. As we go along here, and we're showed all this great stuff that's been going on here with AEW, with Impact, with even New Japan starting to turn a corner a little bit. Even if they have to pull the what was it, Clark Connors, or one of the guys got on the mic last night at a New Japan show and basically called out the president, told him to pull down his pants, and he told Tony Khan to have his way with him or something to that effect. You'd have to go take a look online to see it. I don't have it on top of my mind, but I do know that stories are getting intense. Stories are getting real. And it just feels like people that come up with goofy stuff just start getting over now. Unless you know it's intentionally supposed to be goofy, nothing's working right now like that. And I think that's just another reflection of society. Like, we were talking about it earlier, WrestleMania 15, probably what some consider one of the worst WrestleManias ever. There was a lot of that goofy gimmick stuff that basically fans today would not stand. And yes, I'll take away the fact that you had somebody hung from a cell in that show. I'm not even counting that as part of it. That's just dumb on all accounts. See the boss man go up and then go limp like that, and just great job on the boss man for Sally, by the way, but yeah, just looking at everything going across here, like, it's great to see how many new fans are getting back into wrestling. Like, wrestling's cool, and all of us enjoy it. Like, hell, like I said before on my shirt here, got to get up. This guy likes indie wrestling. Sorry that the green screen decided to take away some of it, but there you go. You can see that there. Oh. Huh.
So, Dustin, I will not give you what you want. You don't deserve a championship title opportunity. But I will give you the fight that you want. In fact, I'll even sweeten it. If you beat me, Dustin, I'll make you a number one contender. But just know what you serve as now is an example to everyone who speaks up and says my name. There will be consequences.
I like this promo. I like this promo for the fact that Joe is not losing his continuity whatsoever here. Because his original continuity has always been rankings matter, and spots like that have to be earned, not just given. So the fact we're going to get an eliminator match on Wednesday, to me, that tells a lot of a good story here. All right, so we're heading to our main event here: Penta versus Komander. So we got Copeland versus Penta on Wednesday. That's going to be a lot of fun. We got Joe versus Dustin, which will probably be the closing segment, just for the fact that they want to... Oh, no, that'll be the opening segment. And then they'll have Swerve come out and do his spot. I could see Copeland and Penta be the main event here next week. It's not the go home yet, so they can still play around with that. I gotta get your plugs in here. So, since I missed it during the regular commercial because we got our timing off, I usually give a quick recap on our last commercial break, our last full-time commercial break of what I'm doing this week. I will be on tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern, noon Mountain, with our WWE 2K24 GM playthrough. We got our PLE of SummerSlam that we'll be doing tomorrow. Normally we do it after Collision and Dynamite, but obviously tonight is running a little late. And then I have to double check, but I might switch Monday stream to Tuesday this week because of Raw After Mania, as well as the NCAA Championship game. That'll be Tears of the Kingdom. Wednesday's our AEW Dynamite Sidecast, Wednesday night. Thursday afternoon, we'll be back with a little MLB The Show. Might actually consider going for some online work. And then next Saturday, back here with AEW Collision once again. And Battle of the Belts here, so. Just do yourself a favor. If you're not following already, hit that heart button down there and follow. And it'll tell you every time I go live. So. Once again, everybody. Jesus. Once again, Lucha guys doing Lucha things. Both guys are like, yeah, we're doing it good here. Penta's mask was on a little tight, so he's got to loosen her up. All right, here we go with the wide chops. I just love how people are finally figuring out that the footage might be coming out, might not actually be. Whether that Bucks footage is going to be a bait and switch or it's going to be straight across. Either way, it's going to be entertaining. The Bucks always have a way of entertaining. If it was straight Tony Khan, well, maybe not, but. I love how the fans yell one more time and Komander just say, please, no, no, no. Oh, God. Penta just literally picked up Komander as he was coming out. One-handed? Jesus. Oh, Komander overshot there. I heard everybody had a great time having Penta in the locker room here for our Top Talent show just a few months ago here in Edmonton, so... Oh, our picture here as they're showing the Dynamite commercial. I do like that they've changed the graphic style and what they're trying to advertise for their TBS channels and their TBS TNT. I wish that they would do a little bit more for TSN, but I'm still of the belief that this contract's a dead contract with TSN. And once, at least in Canada's sake, once WWE moves to Netflix here coming up at the new year, I have a very strong feeling that Sportsnet's going to be the one that picks up AEW. Because they can have the ability to show it consistently on live TV. Usually on 360, I'm thinking. I think that'll especially be the case if the NHL contract goes back to TSN. Which I do believe comes up next year. And everybody's wondering which way they're going to go with that. Like, it's a little all over the place when it comes to that, so... Let's face it, it's a little difficult for us in Canada to check things out. You have to buy an extra streaming service on top of what you already have. In terms of TSN, which is our ESPN affiliate up here in Canada. And that's why the ratings in Canada are typically lower. They do show at the times that they are in Canada, which I do believe technically they can use as Canadian content. So that's why they get the free show on the regular TV. Like on the on-demand channel, they can throw whatever they want on there, right? But in Canada, they have to have X amount of Canadian TV up. That's why typically after your Dynamites, you'll see bowling, or bull riding, sorry. You'll see the Kenny Omega Dark Side of the Ring that's on there quite a bit. If they could show stuff that actually has Canadian content on it, it's actually a bit of a bonus to them, so. Komander throwing everything out there. Gotta love it. Shibata, Hook, and Jericho. Oh, we get another Jericho match on Wednesday. I'll just throw it right there. Julia versus Layla Hirsch. That'll be a lot of fun. So not even having a title match, having an eliminator match at Battle of the Belts. Now I don't know if I feel like watching it there. We'll see how things go. We'll plan things together and we'll... I appreciate how it's still a Canadian Destroyer with two Mexicans in the ring. Shout out to Petey Williams, the originator, and always will be. That would have been interesting going into Wednesday to see Penta get rolled up. I always thought that you would have to break the hold, reposition it, and then just reapply it. That's what I would do at least. Try to go for that wheelbarrow into the bottom rope here. Or slingshot, sorry, into the bottom rope. Jesus! That did not work out well. It worked out okay because you got a big man and a small man. And the big man flipped himself, but... It's like both guys thought they were supposed to be on the other side of each other. Jesus. Going up. Uh-oh. Jesus. All right, well, let's just randomly throw a Canadian Destroyer on the apron. Oh, I thought he was going to try to do a third one there. Hey, Andrew. Night one, it was good. It was interesting. It was... I know a lot of people enjoyed it, which is the main goal about it. I know myself, there were about 3 matches that I was a little bit more critical of than others. But overall, it feels like everybody was happy about it. Stand and Deliver, the NXT show earlier this afternoon, was great. And tonight on Dynamite, we're having a hell of a lot of fun here. Like, it's 1:45 your time. And, yeah, we're still watching wrestling. And we got wrestling up tomorrow. How's your day? I know you're out Philly way. I was going to say, if you were made of money, I would see if you would enjoy Mania or not. But yeah, I hope everything's going well for you, sir. Busy day with the kids? Yeah, I can just imagine. Every weekend's a busy weekend when you got kids, right? I guess in particular you can have some kids have some special activities going on and whatnot. Wow! Komander knows how to throw these shots out here. Super kick to the face. Let's just throw a reverse out the... Not a big enough wrestling fan to want to go in person, but probably just enjoy the spectacle. I heard the tailgating in the parking lot was actually a lot of fun. I know we got some friends here that are actually we're actually tailgating today. And they're actually going to be live streaming tomorrow from the parking lot themselves, the Heels, Pops, and Chair Shots pod. I'd like to go there just for the watch you guys get it. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, to us, this is our Super Bowl weekend. It always has been. To me, I feel like it's starting to change a little bit, but Penta just randomly fell. That was always great. Ugh. But no, it's great watching people get fired up over it, and it's the fact that there's so much good wrestling on this week. Like, normally it's WWE or bust, right? But now you got, like, GCW had a hell of a show today. We had Effie's Big Gay Brunch, which is dedicated to the LGBTQ2+ standard there, right? Hosted by Effie there. They did a lot of great things. You got AEW's got their tape show on right now. And, of course, you're missing my ad. All right, I was just mentioning that there's a lot of stuff that... there's so many different promotions going on right now and just providing so much entertainment and excitement as Komander just had his jaw rocked. Yeah, I don't know what the ads were. And there's 3, okay. Yeah, the ads, it's supposed to go through your memory of your computer, apparently, but it also depends on what they have booked, right? For who's ever paid Twitch to play ads. So sometimes they might not. I've never had ads because I use Twitch Turbo. I think it's $14 a month, and every stream that you go to, it doesn't play ads, but the ad revenue that you would have got is going to go to the streamers. So it's funny, I got woman's moisturizer and Panty Bon V commercial in Spanish. Nice. So Coppola was out earlier, and now they're advertising what's going to be going on here for Wednesday. We are... wow, okay, now we're out of time here. All right. Hey, Ed, good to see you here. We're just... we literally just wrapped up AEW Collision. They started a little late tonight due to NCAAs, so hope you're doing well. Hope you're recovering. I know you probably got a couple more shows to do this week. I don't know whether you're done. Are you done tomorrow? I think you might have one more tomorrow, don't you? Either way, I know you've been doing a hell of a lot of work, Ed, and I appreciate all the work that you've done. 6 hours so far, 2 more tomorrow? Yeah. I could just imagine. I'm lucky I only got one stream tomorrow, which is a great segue. I will be on tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 noon Mountain Time with our WWE 2K24 PLE. We got SummerSlam already ready to go. Cody Rhodes is going to be featured in our show, as well as Rhea Ripley. As long as Paul Heyman doesn't rebook our crap again. But, yeah, we're going to get into that. We'll have a little bit of fun there. Might actually do an extra week or 2, depending on... I don't think we're going to do Battle of the Belts next Saturday, but we'll see here. Other than that, I hope everybody's ready for another exciting day of wrestling tomorrow with WrestleMania Night 2. We had a lot of fun talking about WrestleMania Night 1 earlier tonight as well as talking about Collision today. So, all in all, a successful day of wrestling is a positive day all around, without a doubt.